Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we'd have a quick look at this. I was out in my little van today and I spotted this dumped at the side of the road. God only knows what's happened to the poor thing. These are marks left by bricks, so something's obviously happened to this, and the owners probably either couldn't be bothered having it repaired or got a ridiculous repair quote or whatever, but they decided that it'd be good fun to throw bricks at it. But anyway, yeah, you probably think, what on earth have I dragged a piece of junk like that home for? We're just going to see what's salvageable out of something like this that we can perhaps reuse, perhaps sell. First thing I'm going to do, I know this looks absolutely daft, but I'm going to plug this thing in and see what it does. I've got a power connector on it already. There might be a flash and a bang and a pop, we'll see. I'll put some power up it. Is it doing anything? Oh, the LEDs come on. I don't know if it's actually going to do anything or not. The LED's flashing. Have you heard that? There we go. So yeah, obviously its power supply seems to be at least partially functioning. I think the logic's probably functioning on it. Obviously the screen, there's nothing that could ever be done with that screen. It's not going to be repairable. But let's get it open and see what useful parts we can salvage out of it. Let's unplug it. Right, now let's get this down. We'll get the stand off it. We'll get it open and we'll see what usefulness we can find inside this telly. Now, fortunately, quite conveniently, it's actually marked S where the stand is. But I do tend to do things like this. People think I'm strange for it, but if I see some junk dumped at the side of the road, I'm in my little white van, it's not too dirty or wet or otherwise grubby, I'll tend to pick it up and throw it in the back of my little van, and then I will salvage anything that's possibly useful off it, and then the rest, next time I'm heading towards the dump with some stuff, I can get rid of the rest of it. Now let's see if that'll come free. Obviously when they're in this state you don't have to be gentle with it. I was hoping that would get the stand off, but obviously there's some more screws, something's holding it. That one. Perhaps I haven't quite released that one. Feels it now. Right, let's try tipping it over. Oops, there goes a bit of the plastic. Let's try taking some more screws out. I think in hindsight I should have brought my electric screwdriver for this. Let's see how quickly we can get this thing open and see what we can find inside it. Even things like these screws are useful to keep, because you know how easy it is to lose one when you're working on something. To have a stock of spare screws lying around can be quite invaluable. So even if we just salvage a load of screws off it, it's still worth picking up. Let's just see what we can do. think that's the last screw. Oh no, there's one more there. Okay. Hopefully we can get this back panel off now. There we are. That's the back panel off. And that screws all over my floor, but I'll pick them up after because they will come in handy. Nice selection of screws, and there we go, we're in. In like Flynn, as that crazy Aussie bloke says. Now why wasn't this coming off? That screw's definitely out. There we are, that's the standoff. That can go on eBay. And what have we got in here? We've got a nice logic board, we've got a nice power board. We'll have a look at them. This is probably in full working order, to be fully honest. We heard it power up. The power supply board, again, there's no bulging caps on it, I can see. I want to be a little bit careful because that's probably still holding a charge. But yeah, I mean, that's salvageable. I will take that out only for the very reason that I can use these. All these connectors are reusable. The SCART connectors are reusable. That VGA connector is reusable. The power connector is reusable. These speakers, two nice little speakers in here. I mean, we can let's get rid of some of the rubbish. Let's have a look at these speakers. I mean, they're not huge, they're not going to be massively powerful, but in fact, let's get brutal. There we go. So, I mean, that's the first thing. We've got two of these little stereo speakers. Now they look like they're a bit non-standard, but that's just a port on the front. If we look, two screws that can come off. We've got some nice little oval speakers which can be used for a project, so they'll go to one side. Let's have the other one out. I'll keep the little baffles and what have you. I'll keep the wiring on them. So that's two nice things out of there. Let's disconnect that. I think that goes to the front control panel. We'll have that IEC connector there. That's a nice IEC connector. So let's have that off. We'll have the little bracket that it's on as well. In fact, I think we'll keep that complete with the power board and everything. So let's just we'll disconnect, if it'll come out. Yeah, or this side. There we go. Disconnect that. We'll disconnect that. We'll disconnect that. So that's the power board isolated. That's free. Let's get that power board out. Empty all the screws off it. So I want to be a bit careful because I don't know whether that's still charged, as we've just had it powered up. There should be a bleed resistor on the main smoothing cap there, but you can't be too careful. So I will handle this with care at the moment. But yeah, got a nice 450 volt 220 UF capacitor there. That's useful. Even if I just break this up for the parts, it's still well worth pulling out. So let's get the box. So we'll be neat and tidy. Get in here. There we go. Some eBay junk coming there, I think. But what we will do is we'll use this box and we'll put everything we take off we want to keep in this box. So that's the speakers. Now let's see what else we've got that's useful. Let's have the main board out of it. We'll have that T-con cable there. That's definitely worth keeping. Let's get this board out. Now, like I said, the board itself, unless I can find someone that particularly needs this board to repair a telly, it's probably not a great deal of use to me. I'll bang it on eBay for that reason, just to explain it's come from a telly with a smashed screen. It it makes all the right noises when it powers up, otherwise untested, and it might be some use to someone if it doesn't sell at that. Like I said, there's all these connectors that I can salvage off it. I may even be tempted to test a few of these surface mount capacitors, because in this age they're usually pretty good. They're past the age when you used to have problems with these surface mounts, like you do in the Amiga 600s and 1200s. These are a bit more reliable nowadays, so we'll certainly keep that. I mean, that's a nice little freebie. If, like I said, I can sell it if I get 20 quid for it, I'm happy. If not, I've got all these connectors I can salvage off that. Let's see what else we can get out of this thing. We're getting down to the scrappy bits now, really. I mean, the panel obviously is absolutely no use to anyone. But let's have it, spin it round, see what else we can get. Obviously we've got that nice T-con cable there. If I can get that, I might actually take the whole board off with that. Let's get it round this way. I'm still in shot there, yeah. I know I said I weren't going to be doing too many videos since I'm going away on Friday, but when I spotted that on the side, this on the side of the road, I couldn't resist just throwing it in the van. Like I said, I will get everything I can possibly use off it, box it up, and put it into storage. And then when I get back off my holidays, like I said, I can go through it a little bit more thoroughly, see what else. See what I can actually use myself, see if there's anything that anyone else can use. Let's get this metal off. I was hoping this might be LED, but it's not. It's the old backlight tubes. So let's disconnect them. Got a fantastic inverter board here to play with. Nothing else. So I may, we know this works. We saw it power up. I can also test it. I can power it up on the bench. But even if it was just used for the individual transformers, there's something that fail fairly frequently on these. So there we go. That's off. I presume that's some kind of power good there. Let's disconnect that from there, like that. So that's another nice piece to keep. I'm sure I'll find a use for that, or I'll find someone that has a use for it. It can go in the box. We'll keep the cable. That can go in the box. I'm not going to bother really with the tubes. I don't want to bother stripping this down that much. We've got a nice little board here, which is the on the side of the display of the controls. Let's see if we can get that out without too much hassle. Well, it seems to be there's another board here as well. Let's see if we can get into that. Let's see if we can get this off. I am rushing here a little bit because I'm actually waiting for one of my customers to arrive to drop a interesting little amplifier off for repair. So I may do another video later on about this amplifier I'm going to have got in. But it's going to be a super fast job, that one. Because, as I said, I'm going on holiday. Right, so we'll have that. See if we can get this board out. I'm not too worried about this board. We'll see if we can scrape it out. It's held in with hot glue. There we go. Lovely. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you break things when you're doing this. It's all for free anyway. Let's get this board out. There might be some useful bits on it. It's held in with tape. There we are. And it's a little touch sensor board. Little, I'm not sure what that is. Little processor or something on board it. We'll have a look at that in more detail. It's got a little beeper on it. Got the main RF board there. Again, useful bits. They can go in the box. And the only other thing I really am interested in is under there. I want that cable because they are quite a common failure, and you can pull the pins out, you can reconfigure them, because I sometimes mess about with some of the universal driver boards for LCD panels, and that cable could come in quite handy for that. So we'll get into that. Let's bend these bits of metal out of the way. Look at all these screws I'm getting as well. I have to pick all these up, and these will all go in a little pot. So you can never have enough spare screws. And why buy them when you can get them like this? And there's loads of different varieties in this thing. It's really good for screws. Let's get this last panel off. It should not take a minute. Try getting that out. There we are. You can come off there. And there we are. We want that board. To take that out quite carefully. We're not bothered about anything past it because that's the LCD panel. We want to release these carefully though. Generally speaking, you just flick them up. There we are. Let's get that bit of tape off there. Excuse me. And as you can see, that's gone. We have a box full of salvage bits there, all for free. Right, I'm going to have to leave it at that because that was my customer telling me that they're here. So thanks for that, thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.